How's everyone doing? So in today's video, what I'll try to do is actually complete the conversion of my tail lights to Eurospec, which is a requirement here in Europe, obviously, hence the name. I read an article. There's plenty of steps, however they don't seem too difficult. I'll give it a try, and once again, everybody, I'm not a pro. I'll just do my best. If it doesn't work out, I have to figure something out afterwards. I want to show you guys the tail lights, how they look, and I also want to talk about how lately I haven't had the opportunity to drive this car as much as I wish I could, and it's a bit sad because you dream of getting this car, but then you end up getting caught with working so much and that you run out of time to actually enjoy the cars you purchase, which is funny. But I used to have this thought in my head about this as well. So yeah, let me show you, and then we'll take it from there. Well, before I do, obviously, I have to let this engine sing for you to hear. Absolutely loves the noise. Never gets old. Never. So here we have it, guys. So Euro tail light harness, C5 Corvette. Should be a straightforward fit, replacement with the original one. I'm definitely keeping the original stuff. And here we have the Eurospec Taillights. I don't like them, but I don't have a choice, so have to put them on versus the original ones. So has to be done. Really sucks, but have to change it. So yeah, just warming up the car a little bit. Has nothing to do with what I'm gonna do. It's just the fact that I haven't driven the car for a while, so letting warm up, then I'll get started with everything else. Hi everyone, so the test to remove the tail lights, as you can see, it's not complex. I've actually done it before to clean. So yeah, you need a T15, as you can see here, so that you can remove these. So gotta remove 4 of them and put the new ones there as well. I think the most complex part is going to be the dealing with the wiring, and then I have to do something under the dash as well. I'll try to record as much as possible, but this is not a complex task, so you'll see the difference once I put the new ones there. I'm definitely keeping the old stuff, as I said. I want to keep everything for this car as it came from the factory. That's my style, so yeah, we'll see. So I didn't even inspect the box properly yet, but I just found out we actually have the amber lights, the bulbs actually inside, which is a very nice surprise, because I doubt that I'll be able to easily find this at the local shop here. So this is pretty good news. I'm looking here, I'm seeing a very good sign saying made in the US. I have to say, lately I feel some items made in China, they break so easily. They stop working so fast. I'm actually glad to see stuff still be made in the US and Europe and some other countries as well, where we know they have good quality. So yeah, it's good stuff. yeah, so just gotta work. I was looking here, following the article. I'll have to dig into this later from underneath the car, but I'm supposed to feed the new wiring harness from this hole here, and then follow additional instructions. So yeah, hang tight. This should be a long process for me, but much shorter for you guys with all the editing. So, following the instructions, I hope I'm right. So, replicating the same position for each one, not removing anything yet, leaving the old stuff here. It's basically just replicating the positioning before I start unplugging anything. So there's a step where I actually need to come from underneath, from the right side here of the muffler, and disconnect a plug. I'll show you a picture, but this car is so low I actually cannot have any proper visibility, so I need to use my low profile jack, lift it up a little bit, be able to actually complete this little task. So from underneath the car on the right side, passenger side, this is what I found, and I believe that's what I need to disconnect and plug in the new one. So finding it difficult to actually pass the new one through this hole because it's a really narrow space here, but let me see what I can do. Obviously I can't record every single step, otherwise I won't be able to make any progress, but I'll give you guys a very good idea for those who are willing to do this. So managed to make some progress here. As you can see, this is where I pulled it from. Not easy, depending on the size of your hand. You may not be able to have enough room to pull it out from there. I tried with the clamp, that didn't work. It was really just, I just kept trying, that's really it. So now I'm following the instructions, plugging in the new one into the old connector, and then this additional piece goes into that old harness as per instructions. I'm actually going to scan the paper that I received from the company that I bought this conversion package, and I'm also going to share the link that I got from the C5 forum for you to have both as a guide for whoever decides to try this as well. So after plugging both of them back in, I actually was reading the instructions, and it actually tells me that I should really just push them up, and this should hang in there with friction alone. And I have to say, it is quite tight. It feels like it's gonna stay but I'm gonna follow up on this after a few drives and see if it ever moves, if I'm gonna have to zip tie it to somewhere or something, because I don't know, it feels odd to just leave it there. But it is tight though, so the instructions could be spot on. So I pushed it up with the screwdriver and other tools to make sure it goes as far up as possible, because you don't want it touching the muffler, obviously, to avoid any risks. So yeah, let's see how that works. I'm worried now about making sure that the lights works as expected, but yes, obviously I need to look into this to make sure it doesn't fall and touch the muffler. Initially I didn't understand, but I'm actually going to leave both of them here, both wiring harnesses, for them to work the way it's supposed to. So I pulled the cable a little strong here, feels nice and firm, and now I'm gonna have to follow the next steps, and I'm actually gonna have to go towards the interior and follow a few other instructions. So I was confused as how am I going to be able to fit both wiring harnesses connectors into the lights. But if you look, the original one, red one, does not have two holes. The new one has the two holes exactly for this. So it definitely makes sense, and it seems like I'm doing the right thing so far. I just hope I continue to do the right things and I don't have to redo everything at the end of it. But yeah, looks like it's making sense so far. So this is the step I just did, putting the amber lights into each one of these. I'm going to put this is going to be at the bottom of each light, so that obviously that section there, the clear section, is the one with the amber lights, and we meet the requirements to make the inspectors happy. So obviously I have to do it for each one of the lights. So yeah, you know what will happen. Guys, this is tricky to record, but this panel here, if you look, has two buttons that you can push and fight against to be able to lower this panel. Okay, now in this panel, it's a nerve-wracking part of the task, because I actually have to cut a cable. I need to cut the white cable, but I'm going to show you exactly where, so that whoever's following this doesn't make a mistake. So I need to remove this first to be able to access it. But obviously this is right under the steering column. The thing that I forgot to mention is I also got the side reflectors, the orange ones, and I'm actually going to do all this while I have this removed, the tail lights removed, because I have better access from here to remove them and get this all sorted in one go. Same applies there. I'm a little nervous about this specific step because I'm supposed to cut wires, and I don't like messing with that, if you ask me, but I think this is the one. I was looking at the picture, so if you look at it, if you're coming into the box, it's basically right there, right in front of us, and I'm supposed to cut the white wire. Yeah, once again, don't like doing that, but that's what I'll have to do now. Alright guys, this is actually what I used to cut the white wire, and obviously got some electrical tape to put on the tips, and that was it. So guys, as you can see, if you turn on the light now, the top one is automatically on, the left blinkers both working, the right blinkers need to check, yeah, working as expected. So looks like everything is working. I'm pretty happy with the progress. So let me try the hazards as well. Hazards in the middle. So hazards working as well, which is pretty good. Looks like everything is working as expected. So now that we know from an electrical perspective everything is working, what I'll do is I'm gonna put the zip ties to secure both harnesses to each other, and to make sure that the wires won't mix, and that they're safely positioned. I'll finish it off in a few minutes. The weather is not helping, but after that is really about putting the lights back on, making sure that they're nice and firm, and that's job done for the tail lights. But I still need to put the side reflectors before I put the new tail lights on. Alright, weather improved slightly, so now I have my orange reflectors that I'm going to change as well before finishing off this task. So to remove the side reflectors, I just tested. It looks like it's an 11. It's an 11 that will do the job, but believe it or not, it's not that easy to reach, but definitely needs to be done. So we'll start working on that now. I mean, it's no big deal. It's really just removing them, removing the red ones, putting the orange ones, and then finish closing up everything and making sure that everything is nice and tight, and that's it. So while removing this, I actually broke one of it. As you can see, I actually didn't know it was all pure plastic from there. Yeah, so I'll still keep it. Maybe I'll be able to glue it, but yeah, I would like to keep every original part from this car. Yeah, so need to do the other side now. So realize why I broke it. I think it would break regardless. It's basically glued to each other, I guess over 17 years being in the same spot. So what I'm going to try to do is use this tool to hold it and then try to unscrew the bolt, because I need to use that to plug in the orange reflector back. It was definitely more complicated than I thought to get that plastic from out of this one. As you can see, I had to try and break many pieces throughout my attempt, but I'm gonna try to plug it back in now. Let's see how it goes. I just need to make sure it's nice and firm and that I passed the inspection. That's really all I care about right now. So I tried a few times, it's not working. So what I realized is that I could just remove it and try to make a thread without it being plugged in, which gives me a lot more room to play with, and it seems to be working. So this way, when I try to screw this back in, bolt it, make it tight, it should work much better. So let's see if that works. So I've managed to do this side, the left side, just fine. It's nice and tight, both bolts. However, on the other side, it's not as good. So I'm going to start fitting the tail lights on this side, as everything seems to be in place. Then I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to make sure that the right side as well stays nice and tight. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it as is and focus that later on. Alright guys, so fitting this, it's really not complicated. So just gotta make sure it says the side, it says left hand side, and it's really just plugging this in and repeat it 4 times, right? Repeat it 3 times. That's really it. So another roadblock that I came across, these came with this plastic piece, but in order for the headlights to properly fit, they ultimately get in the way. So I'm actually gonna have to break them. It makes no sense unless I drill a hole. I don't want to drill a hole. This hole here is actually for the screws for this bit here, but there's not much else here I need to do. But yeah, so I think I can just break this piece, because the other lights don't have it. So I'm just gonna break it to be able to fit it. So finally have one of them in. It doesn't look too bad, I have to say. I think I'll get used to it quickly. I realize that I don't necessarily need to break both of them. I can actually cut only one side, because when you actually put it in one side, there's always this space where this plastic bit goes right in, and it helps you actually hold it in place. So just keep that in mind. Only one side needs to be cut off, and this will help it be firm. All right everyone, so about 3 to 4 hours later, here we have it. Final results. I have to say, it does not look as bad as I thought it would. I actually think it actually looks better than the completely red ones, but again, too soon. But yeah, I don't think it's that bad. So orange reflectors on both sides. I have very few things to address now before the next inspection, so going in the right direction. Should be done with all these requirements very soon. I can't wait to be over with this and properly enjoy my car without headaches.